It is Wednesday night, May 25th, 2022, the go home episode before Double or Nothing, the go home episode of the Kicking Out podcast. I'm Tanner Lee, along with my co host Paul Zartman and our special guest, who is he really a special guest at this point? This is his third appearance in the last month, Austin Shepard. Fellas, what's going on?
How's it going?
How we doing, fellas?
Doing good. Another fun episode tonight, and wow, what a stacked card we got on Sunday.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be epic, and I can't wait till you guys lose.
It's not even gonna be close.
No, I'm ashamed. Really, I mean, it's gonna be a bloodbath.
I mean, but we'll still talk to you next week, Paul. We promise.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You'll have to, because somebody will have to track me down for this belt if I lose, because it ain't going easy.
Well, I mean, there's a reason I gave you the read tonight, Paul. I mean,
yeah.
I thought you might as well talk tonight while you can. So
yeah, because if I lose this thing, I don't know. You may have to find a new host.
All right, fair enough. So, well, we got a lot to talk about. We'll do a quick recap of Dynamite, and then we'll get into our Double or Nothing predictions at the end of the show. So, Paul, why don't you lead us off?
Hey, real quick, I heard Spike Dudley's looking for some work, so we might.
Oh. Go one night without responding to you guys, and this is how I'm treated.
Hey,
ouch.
Hey, that's what happens. You gotta be quick.
Man.
Gotta be quick.
If only you knew. If only you knew. All right, so the show starts off the same way it always does. Jim Ross welcoming in Tony Schiavone and Excalibur with his usual, it's Wednesday night, it's time for Dynamite. And we get right into things with a steel cage match, Wardlow versus Shawn Spears with MJF as a special referee. Match starts off, MJF can't find the key, so Wardlow's stuck in the handcuffs. Spears beats the crap out of him. At one point, MJF spits in Wardlow's face, which causes him to rage up enough to break the handcuffs, which I'm sure were just plastic at this point. And then Wardlow's still getting his ass kicked, and Spears goes for the chair. Spears goes to hit Wardlow with it, instead hits MJF, and then Spears kind of loses the match. Wardlow hits the Powerbomb Symphony and gets the 1, 2, 3 with a new ref in the ring.
I thought it was a perfect way to start the show. I was surprised. I thought the cage match would be the main event tonight. But I love how it started. You know, Tony Khan does such a good job starting the shows off hot. Loved everything about it. And MJF, he kind of looked like Ben Stiller off of Dodgeball, coming out there with the
little
referee
short
shirt. Yeah, short shorts and the cutoff referee shirt. But thought the presentation of Wardlow was great, coming to the ring again without music, making him wrestle a little bit with the handcuffs, ripping the handcuffs off, and then hitting Spears with the Powerbomb Symphony, and also the chair shot on MJF was glorious.
Yeah. So did anybody else get 90s Shawn Michaels vibe when he was the special guest ref?
Yeah, the short shorts gave it away. But I like it. It was short and sweet. They played it. It could have been more perfect. If you can nitpick it at all, maybe beat up Spears a little bit more, give him some color. You're in a cage match, right?
Right.
AEW loves color, and we have a cage match with none. I don't know. Give me a little color. But other than that, I thought it was great the way they told the story. Short and sweet. Let's do it.
Yep, and I like how he went to get his hands on MJF, but the security guards, if you want to call them that, came in one by one and just got laid out.
Anybody check on the guy who got folded in half that slid down the cage?
Yeah, that was a nasty little bump he took there.
Yeah,
he rolled under the ring. He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
It's a long way down, though.
Am I the only one who's hoping that Wardlow comes out with no music, but then like halfway down the aisle, they hit War Pigs by Black Sabbath?
I'd be okay with that.
I don't know if they're going to buy the rights to do that, but it'd be pretty fitting with how the storylines went.
Yeah.
Tony better check his pocketbook to make sure he can do it.
That's true.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure he can.
That match is now official on the card. So
yes, it is. After the match, we then see the Jericho Appreciation Society entering the arena. Jericho spots someone wearing a John Moxley shirt. Jericho hits them with a fireball, and we head to a commercial break.
Because he's a wizard.
I'm a wizard.
I laughed out loud at that. I'm just like he's so over the top. It's just
You're a wizard, Jericho. You're a wizard.
he just oh my god. I don't know. That guy. I don't know.
Hey, he's loving his life.
He
gotta
is. He's
give him
having a
that
good
much.
time. He's having a good time, but I mean, I don't know. This is one of his worst reinventions, I think, so far.
We'll see how it goes.
This is one of the factions that you just love to see get beat up.
Yes.
That's very true.
And the way Jericho's acting, he knows he's going to get beat up. So he just eggs it on, and it makes it even better.
That's true. That's a good point.
Absolutely. Back from the break, it's time for the AEW Championship Hangman Adam Page versus CM Punk face-to-face moment. Punk says the biggest moment of his career happened in Las Vegas, and this Sunday he will leave Double or Nothing with the AEW World Championship. Page says there's nothing Punk can do to take the title from him. Punk says he doesn't understand why Page is taking this match so personally, and to him, it's just business. Page rips the microphone out of Tony Schiavone's hands, as usual, anytime Tony's doing an interview.
Poor Tony.
Page tells Punk that he's going to embarrass him, and he doesn't mean this Sunday. He means right here, right now. Page says he saw himself giving his own version of the infamous pipe bomb promo. Page says he doesn't hate Punk, but he doesn't have any respect for what he's done since he arrived in AEW. Page says Punk talks a big game when it comes to his peers, but he's done nothing but show the opposite since stepping foot into AEW. Page says AEW is home, and at Double or Nothing, he's defending All Elite Wrestling from CM Punk, who says he gave Page the blueprint to do what he's doing right now and offers his hand for Page to shake. Page refuses to shake his hand. Punk shoves him, and Page cracks him with a punch that drops Punk to the mat, and the segment ends before we head to another commercial break.
Shep, I'll let you lead off with this one.
Did he try to be the heel in this situation? Because
that's the vibe I was getting.
Halfway through, I mean, he even got the crowd behind Punk, and he was like, okay, I'm going to be the heel here. Punk's the face. You know, I'm doing it. You know, it's a business, blah, blah, blah. And then towards the end, I feel like he shifted again, and the crowd was split. Yeah. So I feel a little bit of heelness from Hangman, and you know all the aggression, the passion, and then Punk's just like, "Hey, dude, calm down. It's business."
Punk's playing those mind games, though. He's bringing out Hangman's insecurities on him again, and I mean,
it was good.
It's his trap. He's working his trap. Yeah, it's. I really enjoyed the promo. It wasn't what I expected, but it was really good. This build's been good, I think, and I honestly think this main event might finally be an AEW pay-per-view main event that's the best match of the night. It at least has that potential to. I feel like a lot of times the main events are hyped up, but they're not usually the best match of the night.
I agree with that. Looking at the card, this could be an Uncle Dave 18-star.
Oh yeah, good. And I think I'm interested to see the reactions from the crowd at the T-Mobile Arena on Sunday, because I think it's gonna be pretty split.
It was towards the end. In the middle, it was definitely Punk,
right?
And then it kind of switched a little bit. But yeah, no, I'm pumped for this one.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, it's going to be a great match. I can't wait for it. And yeah, I do. I think we're going to get there Sunday, and it's just going to be split right down the middle. Half of them are for Hangman, half of them are for Punk.
Yep.
Up next, when we come back from commercial break, we get Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston versus Private Party. This was a little bit back and forth, but as we all guessed, in the end, Moxley plants Quinn with the paradigm shift for the 3 count, as Eddie had some type of submission locked in.
Yeah, did anybody else catch Mark Quinn was tapping out the whole time?
for like 30
And,
seconds.
yeah. And the ref just ignored it until the paradigm shift was hit on Isaiah Cassidy. But yeah, it was a fine match. It was what it was. I mean, we all knew it was going to be a pretty easy win for the Blackpool Combat Club. I mean, Private Party. I know I've complained about this on the podcast before, but this is the same team that beat the Young Bucks when AEW started in that tag team title tournament in 2019. And I feel like ever since the pandemic hit, this team's just been nothing. I mean, the Hardy family office, now the Andrade family office has not done them any favors. And it's too bad. They've just got lost in the mix.
Yeah, I remember the independent show on the East Coast that the Hardys put them over and signed them then. And then they came and, they had some stuff on BTE, and then it just kind of faded away a little bit.
Yeah.
Young guys, though, in mid to early 20s.
But they're one of those teams you look at, and a lot of these contracts that were originally signed in AEW back in Double or Nothing 2019, they're going to be coming up. They're a team you kind of look at, and you're like, maybe they think about jumping to another promotion.
Yeah, but again, early 20s.
Right.
If Tony offers you a contract, even if you got to work dark or elevation for next year or so,
sure,
man, you got a long.
Where do I sign?
You got a long way to go yet. So
Yep.
After the match, the Jericho Appreciation Society rushes the ring and the brawl begins. Bryan Danielson, Santana, and Ortiz make the save, and the faces stand tall as we head to another commercial break. And I wouldn't exactly say they stood tall. I don't really think there was a clear outcome of who came out on top on this one.
I mean, it was carnage, which they wanted, but it was sloppy camera work all over the place. It was hard to keep up with what was going on, really.
I think Jericho was going for a chair there at the very end and just got too exhausted trying to get the barricade apart, so he just stopped.
Yeah, I think you're right. And the camera cut away pretty quickly from that because I think he was struggling getting the barricade apart. I want to mention I enjoyed Regal's commentary like usual.
Oh, yeah.
I like how he calls Excalibur "Man in the Mask." That always pops me. But
Mr. Man in the Mask.
This is going to be a fun match on Sunday. It's just going to be a bunch of carnage, like I said. I assume it's just pretty much no disqualification rules. They never really explain exactly what Anarchy in the Arena is.
So you had Jericho do the death match with the GCW. Help me out.
Nick Gage.
Yeah. And then you got, obviously, the champion of GCW, Moxley. But anybody else outside of that has, Kingston a little bit, but some of those guys haven't done, Daniel Garcia, he has not touched any of that. 2.0, they have not touched any point of that.
Hager,
yeah, he's never done anything. So, I mean, I kind of expect some absolute extreme spots. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And I'd be willing to put a good wager down that this match will have the most color of the night, and it should.
Yeah,
it should. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it should. And like you said, I mean, look at the Blackpool Combat Club team. I mean, Moxley's crazy. Danielson's got some crazy in him. Kingston's crazy. Santana and Ortiz got some crazy in them. So it's it's gonna be a fun one.
But I don't think we ever seen Danielson ever do any paint glass thumb type stuff. So I mean, I guess I don't know what to expect, but it's Moxley.
Yep.
Here's a question for both of you. With the knee injury on Danielson, is this how we get Yuta into the mix?
No,
I think that would.
You don't think so?
I think that'd be a step back. Even though I like Yuta and what they're building with him.
Yeah.
Although they did announce Danielson versus Seidel for Rampage.
True.
That's kind of odd, but they said to prove that he was ready.
Yeah.
Okay, not a bad point, Paul, but I think it'd be a step back for the pay-per-view.
I do too. I
agree. I'm just asking,
Danielson, one of your bigger stars in the company.
Yeah, you need him.
Yeah, you got to have him on there.
Okay. Up next, we've got our ROH World Tag Team Championship match. Roppongi Vice taking on FTR. starts out.
How about
as you
that
would
pop
expect it
FTR
to.
got?
Ooh,
One of the best pops of the night. Probably right
it's
behind
getting
Ward.
louder and louder every week.
As it should.
Yeah.
Maybe one of the most over guys in AEW right now is Dax. Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
I'd say in all of professional wrestling almost.
True.
Match starts out with Cash and Rocky. Lots of back and forth, lots of close calls where I thought there were a few times that the titles were changing hands, which was going to shock me. But, it's AEW. Anything's possible. At the end of the match, New Japan Pro Wrestling's Jeff Cobb and Great Okan come out of nowhere and attack both teams and cause a disqualification with no clear winner.
Yeah, the rare disqualification finish in AEW. I think we can count on one hand how many times that's happened. But great to see Jeff Cobb back on TV. I'm a big fan of his. Okan, not so much, but I didn't see that coming. I mean, Shep in our group text thought maybe the Briscoes would get involved and we'd get another match added to the card, Briscoes and FTR for the ROH tag titles, which would have ruled. But I did like this spot because it leads towards the Forbidden Door event next month.
It does, but the only thing Cobb can go back to ROH because he was a television champion at one point.
Right.
So I can see him wanting to go back for the titles. But I really wanted FTR involved with the IGW or IGWP titles. I don't know, but yeah. I wonder. I guess at the first I was excited, then I got to thinking about it. I'm like, all right, that means they're not going to be going for one of the main events.
Yeah, unless they have like a fatal 4-way between tag teams or something. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work out. And really, it would be nice if we could get an ROH TV deal and get that going too, because that would solve a lot of pieces of the puzzle. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, I heard Warner Brothers is going to be at the June 7th show. So maybe there is something coming.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. But it was interesting. Yeah. DQ finish. I didn't see that coming before the match.
I didn't either.
And it's sad that FTR is not on the card Sunday. That really bugs me.
I haven't figured that out yet.
I mean, some other stuff. I mean, Darby's not on the card. Sting's not on the card.
Sting's not on the card. He's the main focal point.
I know
the poster.
Yeah, he and Darby are the only two on the poster that aren't on the card. And I'm trying to think: has Darby missed a pay-per-view in AEW? I don't think he has. Orange Cassidy's hurt, of course, or I don't know. It's just we talk about all the time, and the roster's so stacked. I guess some people have to be the odd man out, but kind of surprising.
Yeah. We head to a commercial break, come back from commercial break. We see Matt and Jeff Hardy backstage. Matt says he and Jeff have a few similarities to Matt and Nick Jackson. And while they're elite, they're just Hardy Boys cosplayers. Jeff says this is his and Matt's clean slate, and their final run will be their best run. And the Young Bucks are just in their way on trying to become AEW World Tag Team Champions. This Sunday at Double or Nothing, the Bucks will just be upset they couldn't even beat their heroes.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Hyped up the match a little more. I mean, this is a match that's been built heavily on BTE. I don't think this match Sunday will be as good as their Ladder Wars match was in ROH back, 6 years ago or whatever it was. But I still think it will be good, and it's got the potential maybe to be a show stealer of the night too. I'm interested to see your guys' predictions and confidence points for this one.
Yeah. I don't think anybody will be surprised by mine.
Not me either.
Up next is a triple threat match. Swerve Strickland versus Ricky Starks versus Jungle Boy.
This was fun.
Oh, man, this is a great match. Lots in back and forth action, lots of close calls. I didn't know who was going to win this going into it. I thought maybe Jungle Boy, but I wasn't 100% sure it was going to be Jungle Boy. And then at the very end, Jungle Boy applies the snare trap to Starks. Swerves breaks the hold and drills Jungle Boy with a super kick. Hits Starks with the swerve stomp for the 1-2-3.
And these are three guys that Tony Khan really holds in high regard. Sees a lot with them in the future. I wasn't sure he was going to win either, but I'm glad Swerve got his first, what I would call, big victory in AEW.
Yeah.
My favorite move during this match was when Jungle Boy had him in a reverse Hurricanrana almost off the top turnbuckle, and Swerve landed on his feet.
Yeah.
It's just like, my God.
Yeah. After the match, Hobbs rushes the ring, attacks Swerve and Jungle Boy. Luchasaurus comes down to make the save, as does Keith Lee. Everyone brawls. Lee stands tall and finishes the attack with a dive over the top rope to take out both Hobbs and Luchasaurus. Are we looking at our next tag team champions?
If this was WWE, there's no way.
Right.
Because usually who they have standing before the pay-per-view on the Go Home show never wins on come the pay-per-view itself. But I'll let my picks say that here in a little bit if I agree with you there, Paul, or not. But I will say I'm ready for Jungle Boy to break away from Luchasaurus. I think he's outgrowing that. He's got better on the mic over the last year. His in-ring work's great. Luchasaurus just doesn't do anything for me anymore, and I hate saying that, but
Luchasaurus went from being this brilliant man with 2 master's degrees who could talk on the mic to just going,
yeah, I'm just over it, and I'm ready for the Christian Jungle Boy feud.
What about that bump Keith Lee took over the top?
I thought he smacked his head against somebody because he looked a little woozy.
I don't think they caught him very well.
Yeah.
No, they did not.
It's amazing for a guy of his stature to do those types of moves.
He's limitless.
But let's look at the big picture. You put the straps on anybody but Jurassic Park. Okay, either team, and then obviously the next contender is either going to be the Hardys or the Bucks
or FTR.
Well, FTR's got their own stuff going on.
They do. That's true. That's true.
So, I don't see the Hardys taking the belts off of Swerve and Lee. They don't even compare. So it makes you even double think. Yeah, is it time for a change? I agree, but is the time right? Are the storylines right?
I know it's. I was going back and forth with my predictions and my picks.
I got a couple scribbles there.
Yeah. That was one I waited to fill in my point value until I saw how the triple threat ended tonight. So.
And I'm still not confident on mine. So
no, it'll be a good match. I've enjoyed the quick build for that tag match.
Yeah, because when we were first talking about it, Tanner, you and I both thought, okay, this isn't going to be that exciting, and now I'm ready for it.
It's the second best title build they have on the card behind Heyman and Punk. It hadn't been the women's title, hadn't been the TBS title, and TNT title's not even on the card right now.
Yeah. Up next, we see Dan Lambert backstage. Lambert says the new TNT Championship belt will be presented to Scorpio Sky this Friday night on Rampage, and it's been designed in his likeness.
Yeah, I don't know. This thing's been redesigned so many times. I mean, just pick something and stick with it.
I mean, I understood changing the strap color because of Brody. And I understood Miro getting his own kind of design. But other than that, why do we need to customize it for every champion? That's why there's nameplates.
You don't. Yeah, exactly. That's why there's nameplates and side plates. But,
and front of that belt has more bling than the actual championship belt.
Right. So
it pops better, but I don't know.
The only thing it doesn't do is spin.
And did I was
Please
listening.
don't.
No, gosh, yeah, we're spinner belts were 12 years ago. No, 15 years ago, whatever it was. I think I heard this on a podcast. I don't remember whose podcast. It was one of the Fightful podcasts that Scorpio's going to defend the TNT title against Frankie in the Forum next week. Which would make sense. They're SoCal boys. I mean, that would be a huge match for that crowd.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen that confirmed anywhere. So
the only thing I've seen with Frankie is going back and doing a show with a match with Impact.
Yeah. So I don't know, but that would be smart booking if they put him in the Forum next week because Dynamite makes its West Coast debut next week. Dynamite and Rampage both.
You got to have SCU reunite at least
Yeah,
once.
you might as well have Daniels get involved in.
Mm-hmm. Too bad he couldn't be a special guest referee.
Maybe that's the way they'll go.
I don't know, but there was tonight. I know they were building everything for Double or Nothing, but I feel like we didn't even get a preview for next week's Dynamite at all.
No.
Maybe they'll do that Friday.
Or maybe
a little bit Sunday.
I think that's when it'll be a Sunday.
Yeah.
Back to ringside. Tony Schiavone is on the stage and welcomes Thunder Rosa, who is not wearing any face paint. Rosa says she worked for everything she has, never complained because that's just what champions do. Rosa says Deeb is not a champion and says that Deeb needs to look at herself in the mirror and blame herself instead of everyone else. And this Sunday at Double or Nothing, the war paint will be on and she'll teach the professor about respect. And back to another commercial break we go.
This was the best promo and build of this build. That just shows you how bad this build's been. Really, Thunder Rosa's whole title reign just been so watered down. I feel bad for her. I think this match will be very good on Sunday, but the build's been horrific.
I think Serena's really good in the ring, awful outside the ring.
I agree.
100%.
Yep.
And I guess that was probably a reason she was a performance coach at the other place.
Yep. Yep. That and a few other reasons she kind of hit on last week in her promo. So.
That she was over there at Ace Fitness.
Man, now I don't even want to go check out art. Back from the break, we Red Velvet backstage. Red says she would have won her Owen Hart Cup match, and Ruby Soho interrupts. Red gives Ruby a book that has everything she needs to beat Chris Statlander, but Ruby tosses the book aside, but says she'll keep some of it in her mind.
Yeah. I have a lot of thoughts on it.
No,
I don't know. It felt like something you'd see on Rampage. I don't know.
Make sure you put that in your trapper keeper.
Maybe we'll. Hey, I have one of those. Up next is Britt Baker versus Toni Storm in the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament semifinals. Ends up that with the use of the ropes, Britt Baker gets the 3 count and advances to the finals.
I wasn't surprised. I mean, I knew Tony Khan wasn't going to have a big pay-per-view without Britt on the card, but I still think the wrong woman won. I think this was a chance to really push Toni Storm, and they didn't do it.
Crowd
did not agree.
No pop at all.
No, it's just kind of. I think we're getting some Britt fatigue.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what has she done since she lost the title? Really, nothing. But what's the women's division done since the title changes? Nothing.
Nah, yeah.
So I don't know. I am intrigued by Friday's Ruby and Statlander match, though. That should be a good one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
With Statlander, kind of with a new look,
right?
New persona type deal.
Do you guys think Hayter could get involved Sunday and cost Britt finally turn?
I'll let you know when we do our predictions.
I thought that was going to happen tonight. I mean, it was like a little tease, and then they got me with her helping Britt get the victory. So.
I'll let you know in prediction time.
And good for Tony Storm fighting through what looked like a broken nose.
Yeah.
She's pretty talented. I didn't watch a lot of her stuff in WWE, and she's impressed me every time
There
she's
wasn't
been on TV.
much.
Yeah, she's impressed me. So
Yeah. We get our now it's time for our main event, which is the Owen Hart Foundation Men's Tournament semifinals. Samoa Joe versus Kyle O'Reilly. Not gonna lie, going into this, I thought O'Reilly was gonna win this. I was wrong, and Joe gets the win.
I was up in the air, but I thought we'd get some sort of interference from Lethal Singh and Dutt. I couldn't think of Sanjay's last name, but no, I was wrong. It was a good match, hard hitting match. See Joe make Kyle O'Reilly pass out. Good sell there by O'Reilly. Good facial reactions there. So yeah, Joe against Cole. That's I know I said earlier Hangman and Punk might be the match of the night, but Cole and Joe is gonna be right there.
Yeah, I just this and nothing against Kyle O'Reilly. I enjoy his work. I just don't see Tony Khan putting him in a high-profile match on a pay-per-view this early.
Right.
Especially when you got a guy like Joe.
Yeah.
With a guy like Cole.
Yep.
You got to put them together. No matter how you feel personally, you got to put them together. No, like I said, no offense to Kyle O'Reilly. Guy's works his tail off.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to put Joe and Cole together in that one.
Yeah, you got to strike the iron while it's hot.
Yeah. When you use the name Owen Hart, you better have two guys that everybody knows, and then everybody know they can put on a show.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, I guess it's not really part of our predictions. That's why on the women's side, I think we'll see Ruby Soho go over Statlander on Friday.
Hey, that's part of your predictions.
It is.
It is. You just told on yourself, Tanner.
Yeah, I mean, he did tell us that it made it more interesting because I was like, wait a minute, we're not going to know the full card, and you're like, that's what makes it more interesting.
Yeah. Wow, Tanner just told on himself.
I just I spoiler right there.
I might have to make a change now, depending on the points.
I'm a dirt sheet, I guess. But I thought it was a fun show tonight. It flew by. Went by really fast. It was great to see the Vegas crowd 3-year anniversary of AEW, which is crazy that 3 years have flown by. I laughed at I saw a meme today on Twitter that had Cody breaking the throne, and it said 3 years later, like the SpongeBob graphic, and then it had him and the Miz graphic. I'm like, that's pretty good.
Pretty good. Things have changed.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And hey, we can blame it on COVID.
Yes, we can.
I honestly do. That's a whole podcast in itself. We're not going to get into that. All right, guys. So before we dive into predictions, let's wrap our recap the normal way. Wrestler of the night.
Shep, you can go first.
Wrestler of the night, Samoa Joe.
Good pick. Paul, you can go. I'll take the last.
I got to think now because I can't agree with Shep. Let's go Britt Baker. Moving on to the finals in the Owen Hart Women's Tournament.
All right. I guess I'll go Wardlow then.
All right.
I don't want to agree with you both. So
ratings. Tanner, you're going first.
7.7.
Oh, really? I had it wrote down on the
paper. Oh man. So now we've
a solid show, fast-paced show. I mean, a few nitpicky things here or there, but overall, good go-home show. I was already excited for Sunday, and this show got me even more excited, so it did its job.
Shep?
7.5.
Fair.
The reason we lost 2 is because of the Beretta oops through the table with the claw. He was a little early on it. I even texted you guys, whoops.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's a really strong claw, if that's what happens.
All right. I'm going to go right in the middle and go 7.6.
Oh, wait.
What a cop-out.
Yeah.
No, I have my reasons because it's not quite an 8. I didn't really want to go 7.9 because I didn't seem right. because I agree there are those little nitpicky points, but I'm not going to go 7.5 because Shep picks on me for going 0.5 all the time.
No, I pick on you for going 0.0.
Round number.
Ricky score.
All right.
All right, predictions time.
Let's do this, boys. See how bad you're going to lose.
We'll start off with the buy-in match. Hookhausen, Danhausen, and Hook versus Tony Nese and Mark Sterling. And we're doing points for everybody that just might be tuning in, 1 to 11, with 11 being our most confident, 1 being our least confident.
Shep, who you got?
Hookhausen for 11.
11.
Tanner?
I have Hookhausen for 8.
Ooh. All right. I've got Hookhausen for 11 as well.
All right, here in all week, I was going to have it as my top. And then the more I got to think about it today, I'm like, Tony Nese and Mark Sterling, they're pretty shady characters. I could see somehow them getting the win over Danhausen. And then Hook's got to think, is this worth it being in a team with this guy?
Nah, he's got to bury Hook on his first pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I do think with it being the only match on the buy-in, the crowd will get really into this, and you want them to be happy going into the show. So
absolutely.
And it'll get the crowd popped.
Yep. All right. Well, I might have to root for Tony Nese and Mark Sterling now to win that, just so I get your 11 pointers out of the way. The trios match, which I honestly think this match should be on Rampage, not on the pay-per-view. I think Rampage, this could have been the main event of Rampage. It could have been really good. House of Black versus Death Triangle.
I'll go first. I got Death Triangle for 3.
I got House of Blacks for 6.
I have House of Black for 7.
Okay. So that could be a big turn for us pretty quickly.
Why are you going with Death Triangle, Paul?
Because it's I don't know. I went some oddball picks just in hopes of winning this thing. No. Death Triangle wins more than House of Black does here lately. House of Black, as a trio, they haven't really done a whole lot of success. And they haven't come up over Death Triangle, even in singles matches, really.
My reasoning for going for House of Black is I listen to a lot of Busted Open, so listen to the Fat and the Furious, and they talked about how House of Black does too much cool shit, and they get over. And everybody likes them. Even though they want to be a heel here, I still think they're going to get a pop. They're going to do some cool stuff. They're going to go over.
Yep. I think Malachi has too much charisma to give him too many losses. I mean, the guy, he's got the coolest entrance in the business, in my opinion. Yeah. He's really, really cool. Buddy Matthews, haven't seen a lot of him since he's been in AEW, really. And Brody King here and there. But
I think Brody King could be one of the most athletic big men in the business.
Paul saw him up close at the convention.
Yeah. Yelling and screaming at Fuego, and let me tell you, the dude is huge.
And Death Triangle is one of those factions I just feel like has been cursed since the beginning. I mean, they formed, then the pandemic hits, Pac goes overseas for months, and then once they start getting a push again, Phoenix breaks his arm, and he got hurt one time before that. It just feels like they can never get traction. I mean, Pac 3 years ago was right in the title picture. I mean, he was beating Omega, and now look where he's at.
His ears got in the way.
He's one I could see leaving for a different promotion.
Yeah, I could see him testing his waters overseas in Japan or something like that.
Right. All right, one of the women's matches, the TBS title match, Jade Cargill versus Anna Jay.
Shep.
Ty Dillinger, 10.
I'm right there with you. Jade for 10.
I went Anna Jay for 4.
What are you doing? Paul, are you trying to just give Austin Knight this title?
No, see, hear me out.
Have
Hear
you
me
been
out.
drinking?
No, I haven't. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've done that, Shep. I just think it's time. The last time these two faced off, Jade won. Yes. Where people are starting to lose interest in the TBS championship because it's not changing hands. I think it's time.
I don't think she's built up enough. I think whoever you have give Jade her first loss got to be somebody that's.
I don't disagree with Paul, but then I agree with Tanner on the top. If you got a rising star, okay, I can see it. Anna Jay, no offense to her. Yeah, next.
Yeah, and I don't know who that could be. I mean, maybe if the baddies keep getting this traction, maybe Red Velvet gets built up to where she can finally knock Jade off. But right now, I don't see anybody that has the pedigree to do it. Just my opinion.
We'll see what happens Sunday, boys.
Well, let's go with the other women's match for the AEW Women's Championship: Thunder Rosa versus Serena Deeb.
I went Thunder Rosa for 6.
Thunder Rosa 9.
I went Thunder Rosa for 11. That bit me the last time at Revolution. I thought she was taking the title off Britt for sure. I didn't check that Dynamite was in her hometown the following week. So I did check and make sure Dynamite, okay, it's in California next week.
This is really your first big defense. I just don't see her dropping it to somebody that talk on the mic.
I think it's too soon, too.
Yeah, too soon, but I don't know. I can't get over Serena Deeb not being able to talk.
No, I agree. I think it'll be a great match. I think the in-ring work will be fantastic.
Yeah.
But
they're both awesome there.
The bills have been just awful. The Anarchy in the Arena match, the JAS, Jericho Appreciation Society versus the Blackpool Combat Club, Eddie Kingston, and Santana and Ortiz.
Shep, have at it.
This was a tough one to predict, I thought.
Blackpool for 7.
I went Blackpool for 9.
I went Blackpool for 5. And this is one I changed my mind today. I actually had JAS at one point because I feel like everybody just thinks Blackpool's going to win pretty easily, even though JAS, it seems like, has beat up Santana or Ortiz in every segment every week of this feud. Because I could see this going on into a blood and guts type match to end the feud. So
I just don't see the serious fighters going down here.
Right.
I mean, is entertaining as Jericho's faction is here, and they are. They're entertaining. They make me laugh. They make
sports entertainers.
I didn't say that. I said faction. They're entertaining. And I like them. They can talk well, but I don't think you can put them over in this situation.
I think that Daddy Magic, I can see him taking the pin, and then he takes some heat from the group.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, he is.
He's hilarious.
He is.
Do you know what happens to guys who like Moxley?
Little taste of the title.
No, we're not going back to PTE.
The Hardys versus the Young Bucks.
Oof. You go first, Tanner.
I have the Hardys for 6.
Paul?
I have the Hardys for 7.
I have the Hardys for 3.
Okay.
Honest to God, thought you were both going to go Young Bucks. So
I changed tonight after the promo.
So did I.
You know, I've heard it on different podcasts, this split. Some saying the Hardys need to give they're here to make the younger stars. Well, I'm like, the Young Bucks are the faces of the company. They could lose every match and they'll be just fine. I'm more looking at as this is the Hardys' final run as a team. They're going to be pushed into a potential
title
run. I mean, nostalgia run. That's what
I say TK pushes them throughout the summer, and at All In, we get a little title match. Whether they win it on their final way out, they get one last shot.
Yep. Win or lose, then they can do their delete stuff too, and then they can kind of.
I wouldn't mind seeing Brother Nero come back.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I kind of halfway enjoyed that, but
the elite versus delete, I feel like they're kind of starting to bring a little of it back. So, speaking of tag teams, the triple threat for the tag team titles: Jurassic Express, Team Taz, and Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee. Paul, lead us off.
I went with Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland for 5.
As much as I think we need a change, I don't understand the storyline. Jurassic Express retains for 2 points.
Well, this is going to be the most interesting match of the night because I'm taking Team Taz for 4. So this could be the deciding factor, and I just think it's time to take the belts off Jurassic Express. Like Austin mentioned earlier, it kind of took the words out of my mouth without knowing it. I just couldn't see the Hardys beating Swerve and Lee, but I can see them beating Team Taz. So I could see Team Taz holding these belts for only like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I mean, before we even get to All In or All Out.
Well, I could even see these belts being defended at Forbidden Door and Jurassic Express dropping them to somebody we're not expecting.
Yeah.
Somebody that can run with them through the summer. And then again, you got All In. And then all of a sudden, here comes the Hardys against some Bullet Club people or somebody like that. And
even FTR versus Hardys would be fun.
Yeah, you throw FTR back, again, there's a long roadway for the storyline. So I just don't like either of the team winning these for the summer.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I made that pick.
I'm still going with Christian screws them over Sunday. I've been saying it for like a year. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
And also, what would help this whole tag division would be if Tony would just introduce the trios titles. Then it would take some of these tag teams and make them into trios, and it would kind of give us a clear picture. But there's so many good teams right now, which is exciting, but it just makes it hard when you're trying to predict matches.
True.
All right, let's do the 2 Owen Hart Cup Invitational Finals. Britt Baker versus either Ruby Soho or Chris Statlander.
Well, you kind of already spoiled it for us earlier, so go right ahead, Tanner.
I think Ruby beats Statlander, sets up the rematch from Grand Slam, Britt against Ruby, and I think they have Ruby go over, but that's my 1-pointer.
Well, this is also my 1-pointer, but I went Statlander wins on Friday and beats Britt Sunday.
Okay.
Wow, it's going to be interesting. I got Ruby wins on Friday, and Ruby goes over Britt for 5.
5. Wow.
Ooh.
And all right, I'm gonna spoil it. You ain't gonna have a couple win the Owen Hart title.
I don't think so either. I think there'd be so much negative backlash online. Yeah, I agree with you there. And should we make a rule that since we all picked either Ruby or Statlander, that if that winner of that match beats Britt on Sunday, we get the points? Is that fair, Paul?
Sure.
Okay.
Who'd you pick, Tanner?
I picked Ruby for 1.
A Ruby. So if Statlander wins, you and I, if she don't count. Listen, you can kick Paul out of that.
Okay.
Adam Cole versus Samoa Joe.
Adam Cole for 2.
Adam Cole for 4.
Adam Cole for 3. Yep. I think it'll be a great match, though, but I just keep thinking they have Lethal and Dutt and Singh come on TV one week, and then they're gone for the next couple weeks. It's like they got to appear again sometime.
So, and I've tried to look at, I haven't spent a lot of time. Did we ever see in the young days Joe versus Cole and ROH?
Uh,
Not that I
I
recall.
don't think so.
Cole's way too young for that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that had to be back in the early gymnasium days of ROH.
Yeah. It
So
would have been.
we've never seen this, and I don't think we ever saw it in Japan then.
And they didn't cross over in NXT either, did they?
No.
No.
Because Joe was on the main roster.
Joe was an authority figure with a concussion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is gonna be a good one. I'm really looking forward to that. Another one the crowd's probably got to root for both guys because even though Adam Cole's a heel, everybody cheers for him.
He gets a hell of a pop.
Yes, he
Adam
does.
Cole, baby.
Wardlow versus MJF.
Wardlow for 10.
Warlord for 8.
Wardlow for 9. And I think he breaks the world record for power bombs.
Okay.
You think they bury MJF like that, though?
I hope, and it's not just because I don't like the character MJF. I would love to see a squash. I would love to see like 12 power bombs.
Well, I don't want to see that because that affects my main event.
But the, MJF, he has 4 matches to date so far in 2022. One lasted 45 seconds. One lasted 4 minutes. And then the 2 Punk matches lasted, I think it was 40 minutes and 25 minutes. So he could take some bumps. He's due.
Yeah, and MJF does not do any of the independents on the weekend.
No, I mean, he does not work much at all, which, I mean, that's part of him being a special attraction. But, I was listening to one podcast the other day where the lady, I forget who it was, she actually picked MJF to win this match.
Ooh.
And I'm like, how do you continue doing that if Wardlow's not gonna have a contract? I mean, I don't know. I just don't see it. But once again, Tony's gonna get us one of these days because MJF has these great builds to these pay-per-view feuds. He gets the better of the babyface until the pay-per-view, and then the payoff always goes to the babyface. So one of these days he's got to flip.
Yeah, but with the whole contract scenario,
Right.
That's the only thing that pushes you towards Warlord.
Right. And
that
then,
that rubbing elbows between TK and MJF right now regarding a contract anyway.
So, hey, let's not get sidetracked, but I love getting sidetracked.
Yep.
That's, to me, there's a little bit of a work there.
I think there's a little bit too.
Because every dirt sheet, every website you look, there's heat. He's really complaining about this contract, yada, yada, yada. Come on. Look, Tony knows what he's got. MJF knows what he's got. They're going to work it out.
Mm-hmm.
End of story. But they're going to play it up all the way till 2024.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to get a hook, line, and sinker. We're going to talk about it for the next year and a half. And
then MJF's going to tweet out, I'm still with AEW for another 5 years.
Yeah, well, the reason that they win is because we keep talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They stay in the news. They keep going. He builds his name because I'm MJF. I can go anywhere I want. And then AEW builds their name is because, hey, look, we scored MJF. They both win. It's a win-win.
Right.
So good for them.
Well, here's my question to you, Shep. I've asked Paul before on our podcast about who are some of the names you think could leave AEW and go to WWE in the next couple of years.
Ooh, Lance Archer.
I think that, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Man.
Here's one I thought of today is Ricky Starks. And the reason I say that is, did you listen to Bustin' Open today?
I listened to bits and pieces. I had to work, Tanner.
When he talked about that, they asked. I was listening to why I worked.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, remember, he gets to just play with pictures all day long.
Uh-huh. Yep. Be careful what you wish for, Paul. He was talking about, like, they asked him if there's any backstage coaches at AEW that goes for advice. And he said, yeah, a few. But he goes, honestly, I go to Cody for advice. And Bully Ray goes, you mean you used to go to Cody for advice? He goes, no, I still communicate with him all the time.
Okay.
Interesting.
The only problem is we know WWE, a guy like Cody, or a guy like Ricky Starks,
Right.
his build, his size,
That's true.
they're going to bury him in mid-level. And
That's true.
If he even gets to mid-level.
okay, yeah.
That's
Throw
true.
him in NXT. He works for NXT for a couple years, and see you later.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, they're using Cody as they should, but who's to say the next talent that comes over from AEW that they probably won't get the same push?
Yeah, just looking at that, Lance, look at his build, his size.
And he hasn't been used very well in AEW,
Yeah,
really.
I just feel like Vince would be drooling over a guy like that.
Brian Cage is another one.
Which they picked up his contract. So we got another year or two of Brian Cage not in AEW.
ROH, remember? ROH,
or you got him in the local Warrior Wrestling we see around here.
Yeah, they put him in that faction with Tully at the ROH pay-per-view last month.
No, that's true.
But
we haven't done much of that though.
No, so
need a TV deal first.
Yeah, no, they need to get it going. I mean, Gresham sounded like it was going to be starting up soon, so I don't know. All right, our main event: CM Punk versus Hangman Adam Page for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship.
I went Punk for 8.
Ooh.
I went Punk for 1. Look at Tanner changing his numbers real quick.
No, I'm writing down your guys' numbers so I can make a graphic later.
Okay.
I went Hangman for 2.
Really?
Yep. This is a tough one. It's the toughest main event I can remember trying to predict, but it wouldn't shock me at all if Punk walks away as champion. And I don't even know who I'm going to root for, honestly, because I like both guys. But I think if Hangman can get this win, it solidifies him as, like the real deal, a guy who can really be the face of the company.
Which would make sense after his promo he gave tonight.
And Tony, I think it was on Busted Open, said that Hangman's reign so far has been his favorite reign out of all the heavyweight champions, which he might just be boosting the champion up because I'm thinking, man, Omega's reign was pretty good. Moxley's was really good given the circumstances.
I could see the reason I picked Punk here is I could see a feud continuing with MJF, and that's why I didn't want to do a squash match with Wardlow. So you do this. You give Hangman a break. Forbidden Door. Guy named Kenny Omega comes back. They got some history. Hopefully he's healthy by then. He's not healthy for this weekend. I don't know. I just feel that you get those two guys out of it, and eventually you're going to see MJF. And for some reason, I feel like Punk wants to put MJF over eventually. So
I already put him over in Chicago.
Well,
which was a big deal. But
where's All In?
Chicago.
All Out, you mean?
Or All Out, sorry.
They haven't announced it yet. I assume we'll find out Sunday. I did read a report today that Tony Khan supposedly wants to run a show at Wrigley Field, which would be pretty big time.
Chicago.
I mean, great wrestling because of great baseball. Right, Tanner?
Yeah, 2016. Maybe not so much right now. Better than the Reds.
We're not going there.
In Cleveland. Of course, better in Cleveland.
Tanner?
But I either way, if Punk comes out champion or Hangman retains, I want the night to end with some golden dollars coming down from the sky and a little coin flip. Okada. That's what I want to see set up for Forbidden Door. I know a lot of people don't want to see he against the champ, but I do.
Oh, I think you'll get something with Punk's going to want to have a dream match coming at Forbidden Door, and he's got enough pull. He can make that happen. So yeah, I'm with you a little bit on that. We're going to see some. Yeah, we're going to see.
Yeah, the build to that event's got to be fun. I've seen a lot of people say that Kenta against Punk just because of the GTS. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I really want to see that.
Yeah, I
But
think it'd be
it'd be a good match. Don't get me wrong, but
I think it'd be a great match.
I feel like, I mean, if this is just going to be a one-off event between these two companies, you got to make it as big as you can.
Yeah,
I don't think it'll be a one-off.
Probably not. But I don't think Ibushi's going to be on the card.
no.
I don't think he'll be in the company come then, unfortunately. So
no,
but we'll see. But yeah, I know Austin or myself are looking forward to defending that championship at Forbidden Door. So
you guys will get a shot at it at Forbidden Door. Maybe you'll have better luck than you will at Double or Nothing.
You're picking Anna Jay for 4. I mean, that's just handing over us the belt. So
that's what you think. Huh?
You got shipping confirmation of my sanitizer from Amazon.
But see, I've already got the chips in my hand, so
I'm gonna have to redesign that belt myself.
Oh, a lot of hard work went into this belt. Thank you very much.
Well, it should be a fun show Sunday. That's for sure. A lot of trash talk will be had behind the scenes. Any final thoughts from either of you guys before Paul wraps us up?
Austin, have at it.
All right. Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. It's always been fun talking about this stuff with you guys. I'm looking forward to Rampage now because I kind of want to see who's my final, the Owen Hart's on the women's side.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to Rampage. Obviously looking forward to Sunday to Vegas. I mean, anything can happen in Vegas. So still a little bit.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah, well. Been there, done that. But anyways, we won't talk about that. I still think we're gonna see 1 or 2 curveballs in Vegas. We are because it's Tony's nature.
Yeah. So who's gonna be the surprise appearances? We know debuts or some New Japan talent. Something's gonna happen.
Man, you had to say that, didn't you? Yeah. I would say Bad Luck Fail and Chase Owens.
Yeah.
They are.
I could definitely see that.
They are the champions, IWGP champions. They're going to set something up with somebody. I wanted to see it with FTR, but I mean, I think the Bucks is kind of who I want to. I see. I can see them getting in. I don't know, just because the Bucks have been champions there before. But you got to start making that build there. So throw them. Yeah, obviously I'd love to see the Briscoes get involved, but the only way I see them getting involved is FTR. FTR is not on the damn card, which it's another story. So
how about the Bullet Club? Bullet Club presence.
Oh yeah, I think we'll see a Bullet Club presence.
Jay White, Good Brothers.
I'm over the Good Brothers.
I am too, though. To be honest, and I think their contracts are coming up too in Impact.
I mean, if you ever listen to them in their podcasts and stuff, they're hilarious. They're funny, but I'm happy with them.
Yeah, no, I'd love to see Ace show up. He's got unfinished business with Moxley, and that's who I'd love to see those two go 1-on-1 at Forbidden Door.
God.
Yeah.
Destiny.
I mean, there was a lot of trash talk between them and some other members of AEW about a year ago.
About 2 years ago, they were having fantasy bookings, and it was God versus the Briscoes versus the Usos.
Yeah, that would be insane.
That would be insane. Can we get a little God versus the Briscoes at Forbidden Door, please?
Yeah. I mean, it's because I think the working relationship's back with Impact a little bit. I mean, Frankie's doing work over there. They had Morrissey show up. Did you guys see the latest report that before Morrissey, they were going to get Karrion Kross, Killer Kross, whatever you want to call him, and they couldn't come to terms.
They couldn't come to terms because of his wife.
He wanted Scarlett to be used, and they didn't have that in the plans. So, which kind of surprised me that they were even talking to him just with control your narrative, but
leave it up to women to always ruin everything.
But it's gonna be a fun show, and yeah, I can't wait to see some surprises, and maybe we get some debuts that I'm sure there's guys we're missing that we aren't even talking about that are out there.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure.
There's so many. It's kind of like a mini WrestleMania weekend. There's a lot of independents going on around the Vegas area this weekend. So there's a lot of guys in town.
Yep.
Oh, so maybe we'll see some surprises.
Yeah, because AEW is almost too new to have a WrestleMania, but I still think Double or Nothing is their WrestleMania because it was their first big event.
There is obviously there's the big like fan con or whatever going on. We didn't even talk about this, and I can't believe you guys didn't bring this up. Johnny Wrestling and Sammy's vlog.
Yeah, that was. I like that tease of the mixed tag match there.
Yeah, we want this match, and all of a sudden Fuego's like, "Yeah, man, this guy." But anyway, maybe we see something like that on Rampage coming up because obviously that's going to be involved. But I mean, can Johnny Wrestling show up out of nowhere on Sunday?
He could. I mean, it wouldn't shock me either if they put that in the holster for next week because, like Paul said, if the execs from Time Warner are going to be at, I forget it was Dynamite or Rampage because they're both live next week. One's from LA, one's from Ontario. I mean, Tony's going to do something big if the execs are there in the house to woo them and wow them.
Hey, Johnny's got an extra mouth to feed now. He's going to take it.
I popped last week, Shep. I don't know if you were listening to the podcast. I popped when it said Johnny Elite because I thought it was Johnny Gargano.
Oh, yeah.
And it was Morrison. I'm like, oh, okay.
Down actually. Yeah. Nothing against that dude, but that's your Joker. That's all you got.
I know. Yeah. I was disappointed by both Jokers last week.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I texted you about the women's Joker. Like, really?
Yeah, Makito, which
wasn't a return or wasn't a debut.
No,
and I'm pretty sure this is before the KOP podcast started when she debuted. I remember texting Tanner. This is before even Paul was involved. I remember texting Tanner like when she came out and did her rap or her lyric. Like, what are we watching? For real?
Or last week when she banged her head against the turnbuckle. I was like,
yeah,
all right.
I mean, I know she's an Omega girl. Kenny likes those girls, and he's back producing those matches. But come on, Kenny.
Yeah. I know who we need at Double or Nothing. We need Rip Ryerson. There we go.
No.
Ooh, you know where we're gonna see Rip Ryerson?
No. Yeah. June 18th here in Rochester at the Manitou Moose Lodge, number 1107. Bell time is 7:00. Doors will open at 6:00. Come out and enjoy a good event. And if you need tickets, hit me up. I got them for you.
Hey, and you know what? I got a little wager with you, Tanner.
Okay.
I say we can get Rip thrown in Lake Manitou.
Oh, I would pay some nice money.
It's either that or Chris Brown.
You've got some pull with this, Shep, so that might be a possibility.
I have another one I'd like to see in the lake, but I'll text you, Shep. I don't want to say it on air.
Okay.
Oh, I know who you're talking about, Tanner. Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
I think Shep will be on board, but I'll text him.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. If we can do that, that'd be great.
I would pay a handsome amount. I'll text him right now just because I want to get a reaction.
I kind of got that gloss look over my face. Like I'm kind of interested.
Yeah, it took me a minute, but I remembered who you were talking about. So,
and maybe, I'm in. Okay, yeah, I'll double that. Yeah, Tanner's got a hell of a point.
Yeah,
I'm cool. You know what? Maybe we can make him a guest ring announcer. I'm gonna turn on him.
Oh God. I think Cornette stuff out there.
Ooh, Cornette would enjoy this one because Cornette hates politics.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I got for you there.
Yeah.
So read that one.
Yeah. All right. Well, Friday night, It's going to be Rampage. It's going to be a great show. I'm probably going to lose right out the gate. If Ruby Soho picks up the victory over Statlander, I might as well kiss my belt goodbye. So here's to Statlander winning on Friday night, so that I've at least got a chance of winning this thing. And when Anna Jay wins, you guys are going to bow down to me, right?
If you get that pick right, I'll give you kudos. That'll be a good poll.
All right. I think I automatically retain if Anna Jay wins. That should just be the rule.
No.
I could have ended up with the exact same picks as Tanner as usual, where it comes down to the points, but I decided to throw out some curveballs here.
Well, I do know you're not going to go perfect like you did at Revolution.
No, there's no way.
I don't even know.
That was a once in a lifetime. I wish they would have been partnering with DraftKings for that, so I could have had my share at $10,000.
Yeah, you would have made out pretty good.
Yeah, I've never done any AEW on DraftKings, but I have a DraftKings account, so I might dive into that one for this.
I'm right there with you. I
know it's always a free entry, so there's different questions you got to ask or answer and stuff. So obviously, I'll fill one out to see if we can score any money.
They're really pushing that promotion. I mean, the DraftKings on the ring apron now every week.
Well, DraftKings on the ring apron when you're in Vegas.
True.
So when I was in Vegas for a golf tournament a couple months ago, guess what was blacked out on my phone?
DraftKings.
I was sitting in an MGM and I could not log on to DraftKings. They said, no, sir.
Yep.
And I'm like,
well, I forget when I travel around that not every state that sports betting's still illegal in some states. When I was in Florida a couple months ago, for the Super Bowl, I'm trying to place a bet and I forgot that's not legal down there.
I was very happy for NCAA.
Yeah.
Oh, 904.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah. It jumped off a cliff.
Yeah. This is the Seminoles don't go for that. So
yeah, and it wasn't because of my golf game down there.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Tanner, you're going down tomorrow night.
Well. Ooh.
Yeah, I can't say anything. I'm not playing well right now, so
I'm not either. And my partner hasn't played since October, and he's getting old.
Well, he'll end up firing a 36. I'm sure that's what happens to us. So it'll be fun either way.
Hey, you know what? I'll join you guys, but you're gonna just laugh at me and go back to KOP because I
already laugh at you, Paul, when you're pulling.
Oh, I know.
For 4 points.
So do we get either winner, because it's either going to be Tanner and I, on Tuesday, do we get a free call-in on the trading post and you have to announce the winners?
Ooh.
Oh, I got something planned. Depending if either one of us wins ship, I got something planned. That's pretty good.
Crap. Okay. I've got a feeling if I lose Sunday, I'm not going to be here next Wednesday night. Neither will the KOB Predictions Championship because you won't be able to find it.
Oh, God. All right. Wrap us up there, Paul.
All right. Be sure to check out all of the Kicking Out podcast merchandise in our link in all of our social media. Be sure to follow Kicking Out Podcast at Kicking Out Pod. Be sure to listen to the podcast wherever it is you listen to your podcast. And if it happens to be Apple Podcast, leave us that 5-star review. We like us some 5 stars.
Be like Uncle Dave, please.
Shep, go give us a 5-star rating if you haven't yet. 6-star. Ooh, we're getting a 6. Be sure to follow Austin Shepard on all social media at the Shep27. Follow Tanner Lee at Tanner Lee 92 and follow myself at Paul Zartman 921. And with that, for Austin Shepard and Tanner Lee, I'm Paul Zartman. Join us again next week as we kick out yet another podcast with me as your KOP champion still. May the chips be in your favor, boys.